It's
It looks
good,
good now. It's good.
much improved.
There you go.
Well, welcome everyone to the Lincolnville Select Board meeting. It is the 10th of July. We had a nice little dedication ceremony over at the Salt Sand Building. And we dedicated it to Bernard Young, long time servant of the people in the town and the roads. Yeah, so that was lovely. I think before we get going, Steve, would you care to read the quote of the evening?
Sure. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Tim Notke.
Thank you. And I'd like to open the podium for any non-agenda items. Seeing no one wanting to rush up to the podium, we'll move along to the administrator's report.
Just a couple of things. At your last meeting, you talked about Breezemere Park and the smoking situation. We've improved signage at the park. The broken cigarette butt receptacle is gone. Spoke with Emily Whitaker from Maine Health. She's a program management specialist with them, and she's based out of Waldo County General Hospital. Gave me all sorts of promotional materials, which may be helpful, but it's nice to have a name with a face. So, excuse me, I think that's an improvement over where it was 2 weeks ago. Sand salt building repairs are complete. The contractor is gearing up to put up winter sand. We're all lined up for the salt contractor, so it's all coming together, hopefully. Lawn care at our various facilities, I'm going to say, is way behind, as it is at my house, primarily due to the weather, I believe. Excuse me. MDOT sent an email this afternoon looking for a letter of support for their ferry terminal project. They're applying for a grant with to the federal government Department of Transportation. Apparently very short order, applying by Wednesday for a $17 million grant. Apparently they're looking to replace the boat with an electric ferry, and looking to do upgrades on both Lincolnville and Owlsboro. Stay tuned. I told Steve I wasn't quite sure I would write a letter of support without board concurrence, and it wasn't really on the agenda, but so I don't know what you really want me to do.
So they need that right off?
They're applying for it on Wednesday. They'd like to get the letter back tomorrow.
I'd like to talk with them about what they're gonna do and how it affects long-term.
Yeah, big picture plans, infrastructure changes that they might want to make. That's a hard one to write a letter in support of without.
I mean,
No
obviously-
details.
Yeah, sure, we wanna write you a letter, but let's talk,
Yeah,
Yep.
you know?
Okay. I'll convey that in a nice way to
yeah.
the regional planner. Townhouse Road culvert project is scheduled to start the week after Labor Day. And the other surprise, is our website, which is through GovOffice. GovOffice got purchased, and lo and behold, the cost is going up. So we may want to explore other opportunities. We're locked in through the end of the calendar year.
Okay.
But more to come as I can digest more of that.
All right.
I guess that's enough for tonight.
Any other questions for David on the administrator's report? All right, well, let's move along to upcoming meetings and announcements.
All meetings are here at the town office unless announced otherwise. The Harbor Committee is meeting Tuesday, July 11th, 5 p.m. Athletic Infrastructure Committees meeting Tuesday, July 11th, 6 p.m. Cemetery Trustees Wednesday, July 12th, 5:30. Conservation Commission Thursday, July 13th, 4 p.m. Financial Advisory Committee Tuesday, July 18th, 10 a.m. And the Select Board meets next on Monday, July 24th, 6 p.m.
Thank you very much. Are there any upcoming community events anyone wishes to share?
No.
Okay, Strawberry Festival was a wing-dinger. Let's move along to the meeting minutes. We do have 2 sets of meeting minutes, and I will entertain a motion for the first, please.
I move that the board approve the May 22nd, 2023 meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. And the second set, please.
I move the board approve the June 26, 2023 meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. And we have a variety of appointments before us for people who had gotten back to us about wanting to serve. And we also have a new applicant for the Heart and Soul team here, I believe, sitting in our audience. If anyone wishes to ask any questions of the applicant.
Oh, Tiffany, yeah, do you mind stepping up?
Would you please come up? So the way this goes is you come up to the podium, introduce yourself.
Wonderful. I'm Tiffany Wolf. I am applicant for the Heart and Soul Committee. I have been very active since I moved here last August, and now I will hopefully be appointed to the committee.
Question, Mike?
Yeah, I just want to put in a good word for Tiffany. If that's going to sway the board, I'd like to sway the board. No, well, I've been on the Heart and Soul Committee. We work together. She just makes things happen. She's a great addition.
Okay. Other questions for Tiffany? Well, thank you for
Well, thanks.
participating as a community member and then throwing your hat in the ring.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay, with that, I'll entertain a first motion, please.
I move to appoint Tiffany Wolf as member to the Heart and Soul team with a term expiring June 2024.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. And a second motion, please.
I move to appoint Pat Shannon to the Lakes and Ponds Committee with a term expiring June 2024.
So moved
Second.
and seconded. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. Third motion, please.
Move to appoint Earl Brown to the planning board with a term expiring June of 2026.
So moved
Second.
and seconded. Discussion. Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. And thank you to,
While you're gearing up, I think it might be beneficial just to tell Tiffany you didn't single her out. New applicants,
yes,
they don't make them, they invite them to come. People that are seeking reappointment, who they've already been on these committees.
we've done business with,
Don't ask
but
them to come.
it's nice to put little interface. So thank you for coming out tonight.
Thanks. Yeah.
And next up, we have representatives from the Lincolnville Sewer District, following up on an easement request. I don't know who would like to come up and chat with the board.
Sure.
Paul Lippman, Chair of the Lincolnville Sewer District. What we'd like to chat about.
There's just new stuff that was submitted to us.
Yes. And everybody saw the sketches and the pictures and
Mm-hmm,
where it is located on the firehouse land.
mm-hmm.
And so that's basically what we're asking for, is whether that's a possibility for the generator to live on that spot. Basically, if you look at the pictures, there's a clump of burdock that seems really unnecessary. And it could be right there, or maybe even to the little left of that, or, depending on what the fire department or you guys think. That's the spot. It's a really nice location for the district because it's not that far to the pump station. And I think you can see maybe pictures from the pump station towards that clump of burdock. I believe it's 36 feet. I didn't jump into the burdock to actually get a totally accurate measurement, but from the tax maps and whatever, I put that all together. And the sketch that I made is to scale. And each one of those little squares is 3 feet. So.
Okay. I think you mentioned it just there is that I guess my position is, and my recommendation to the board is to not weigh in on this until we can have the appropriate department head and his team. And I understand they're meeting tomorrow.
They are.
To get their official statement on,
From the fire department.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So, I think, thank you for this additional information, but I personally feel like we should wait for the fire department to weigh in.
Yeah, I agree. This is very nice, Paul. Thanks. And it's to scale. It's cool. But I do have a question though. I'd kind of like to wait and just find out if you all got an easement across that other property. I believe there's a piece of property between the proposal.
Lot 69.
Yeah, 69, exactly.
And I have a letter, and I probably should make copies of it, from the owners of property 69. It's Linda and Sven.
Oh, make sure to get behind the microphone, please, Paul.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The owners of Lot 69 are Linda and Sven, I believe it's pronounced. You have to excuse me because I really don't know how to pronounce their name. Gjelsvik, Jelsvik. And that's who owns the property. And Sven and I have discussed the situation, and we're willing to grant an easement to run the utility line to the generator. Can we get a copy of the plan on exactly where the generator is going? I'm sure this is already in the plan, but care should be taken when planning the digging, as I believe there are a lot of water pipes running through the property. So what's happening there on 69 is that there was an easement granted way back in the day in 89, so that all of the 5 buildings can be connected to the sewer for the Lincolnville LBSF, Lincolnville Beach Sanitary Facility, which was the old plant, which is now gone missing. And so they're very willing to give us an easement because otherwise they're out of business. So they're very happy to do that. So that's not a problem. And quite frankly, and of course the fire department needs to make the decision, but it's really not invasive in their whatever they're doing. So
Yeah.
Not related to that particular subject, but I think it would behoove us to know how the town acquired the property and if there are any stipulations when that transfer was made. And if I've heard a lot of information on that just by general conversation, and I think it deserves a look before consideration of anything.
Okay. Well, we're not gonna make a call tonight anyway.
No, but I wanted to get that out on the table as well.
Yep.
From what I know about that property, that would have been donated from the French estate, right?
Mhm.
Judge Nichols was there, and it was, maybe he was involved in that, but certainly it came from the French estate
Mhm.
way back,
Mhm.
who knows when.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, and other aspects of our relationship with other pieces of property with that have
Sure.
Yeah,
some pretty specific language about what we can do with it.
And
so.
that's why I
That's
asked
why
that
you wrote
question, because the other things there have come with some pretty specific language.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think probably if you look back, there's an easement for the water supply to the beach businesses that comes through that property as well,
There
Okay.
is.
that the town has already granted.
Okay.
Because, as you know, the town, or you may know, the town allowed an easement on the LIA property to drill a well to provide water for those beach businesses. And there's a pipe, and actually I gave an easement to my property at the Spouter Inn
Mhm.
at the time to allow that pipe to come across my land, because I didn't want them to dig up the judge's brand-new driveway. So anyway, we went through a portion of the Spouter Inland and then over, and I think it had to go through the firehouse land to get to
Okay.
downtown.
All right.
I have one question.
Yeah.
I remember from the last time we discussed this, you were talking about part of why you needed the generator over here was because it was going to be too close to the propane tanks.
Yes,
But, I mean, on the drawing, it looks like it's only maybe 10 feet from
that's
the.
exactly what we need.
Okay. It just looks like there's way more than 10 feet.
Well,
To
it
be
may
like
be more than 10
Pump
feet.
station. No, I meant over by the pump station that. it's
Well,
like-
those are only 4 of the
Oh, yes.
10
Okay.
propane tanks that exist in that area where the circle for the pump station is. There is a cluster of propane tanks for the beach store and for the Fine Art Gallery
Okay.
on each side. So there's just no site in there for us to put it.
All right. Well, we'll be hearing in the next couple of days from our fire department and
Okay, that's
Go
great.
from there.
I mean, for our timeline, we'd really like to try to get this in before winter, because if there is going to be a power failure, it's more likely that it'll be during winter time than in the summer. That might last longer. And that's our biggest concern, because the last thing we want to do is not be able to
Sure.
yeah,
maintain flow.
yep. Well, thank you for the additional information.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, so we have our ongoing conversation regarding you guys all set?
Yeah, we're good. Are you set with us?
Yeah.
Yeah? You sure you don't want to
But
stay?
you can stay, you know?
I do payroll.
Oh, do you want to trade?
We'll discuss the Chardonnay food.
We wish.
Tonight.
Okay, so we have our ongoing conversation about land use committee draft charge. And what we have in front of us is pretty bare bones, largely because the other vested parties that we are seeking input from have not yet been able to meet or schedule a time to talk about it. So unless anyone tonight has something of substance to throw into the collective conversation regarding this land use charge, I think we should strive for something like a workshop with the planning board chair and the code enforcement officer, and get the conversation going.
Sure.
How does that sound?
Makes sense to me,
All right. So we'll look at David to try to keep herding the cats and move this down the road. Sound good to everyone? All right. Yeah.
Would the board be interested and available on one of the Wednesday nights when the planning board actually met? Or would you rather I do it on a night when you normally meet?
Personally, I'd rather do it on a night that we meet,
Yep.
but that's because of other committee commitments. and
Yep.
Okay,
I think that would be
That's only one
easier,
person.
but if we're running into roadblocks that way,
Yep.
we'll entertain other options, I guess.
okay, well, I'll shoot for that first.
Okay, super. And before proceeding with agenda item number 10, I need a motion, please.
I move that we suspend our meeting as a select board and that we convene as the Board of Assessors.
So moved
Second.
and seconded. Discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. Now that we are the Board of Assessors, David, would you care to give a brief preamble?
Sure, I'll try. The property owner in question, the revocable trust, property was in or is in tree growth. They haven't submitted the required tree growth plan. After repeated attempts to make contact and communicate with that, they still haven't submitted the required plan. The law was amended here a couple of years ago, so the owner doesn't just automatically get kicked out. They get notice several times, along with a tree growth penalty of $500. And then ultimately, if they don't submit it after the second notification, then they would be removed from the tree growth program and get the full penalty assessed to them.
Okay.
So this is the next step in a long process to try to get people to either do what's required of them by law or get removed from the program.
Yep. All right. Well, as such, can I have a motion, please?
I move the board approve and sign the supplemental tax warrant for the Delia M. Scipione Revocable Trust of 2013 in the tax amount of $500 with a due date of August 9th, 2023, and interest to begin on September 8th, 2023 on any unpaid tax.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Thank you very much. And having dispatched that item and prior to being able to move forward as the Board of Selectmen, I need a final motion, please.
I move that we adjourn our meeting as the Board of Assessors and reconvene as the Select Board.
So moved,
Second.
seconded. Can't not second this one. Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? All right. Moving along as the Select Board. Kern, do you have an update for us? Wishes, hopes, dreams.
Yeah, wishes and hopes, a lot of those.
There you go.
They're trivial, so we won't go into those. right
Okay,
now.
we'll move along then. Mike, do you have any updates for us?
Yeah.
Excellent.
And last week, you all sent me to the Coast Council of Governments
Mhm.
annual, we call it General Assembly, where there are probably, I think I counted 40 heads on Zoom and in person,
Wow.
representatives from member towns. Anyway, at that meeting, they explained their new strategic plan. Membership voted on that to approve it, so they're going ahead with that, as well as their budget for their fiscal year. And that budget includes a fee increase to member towns
Mhm.
of 25 cents per head, per person, per resident. So it's going to go up from $1.25 to $1.50, so which is a 20%? Yeah, 20% increase. And I just did like ballpark math, assuming we got 2,350
Mhm.
residents. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, $590 Okay.
Okay.
They said and the reason they are doing that is because so they could have more seed money for getting grants for technical assistance.
Ah.
And the second thing, on a side note, on that is that it might be in the town's interest to band with a couple few other member towns and lobby the Waldo County to pay for our fees. It's what they do in Knox County, it's what they do in other counties. And I talked with a couple of people from another neighboring town who said, we ought to do just that. So it's something to
Great suggestion.
keep in mind, yeah.
Yep. Good. Steve, any updates for us?
I have nothing.
And Robin, you were
Yes, I
notified, but we all agreed you're highly qualified.
Oh, yeah, congratulations,
Have-
by the way, yes.
Well, I think I had actually said to someone that I would volunteer to go on the
Excellent.
committee, so
We felt that. But you haven't had a meeting with that group
they
yet.
haven't reached out to me.
Okay.
But I will reach out to them.
Super. And I also have no updates. I am hopeful that we're gonna have our EMS review committee meeting here end of month,
Couple weeks.
maybe. Anyway, moving along, we have the treasurer and payroll warrants to approve and sign.
I move the board approve and sign the treasurer's and payroll warrants.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. I have a thought for the board to consider. So I know that the weather has been exceptionally challenging for folks who maintain lawns. And we have certainly been experiencing firsthand those challenges. I'm concerned that it isn't necessarily just weather-based. And have been wondering about, not a way to be punitive, because I would never want someone who works for the town and has done their work to not get paid for their work. So my suggestion is that we cut the check. We have the check ready for our contractors that mow our lawns. But perhaps we hold that check here at the town office in order to stimulate a conversation and a check-in about just sort of getting back on the same page about schedules and expectations. Is that something we can do, David?
We can do anything you'd like.
I scream at every select board meeting.
We could do that.
No, I'm completely joking. That would be a terrible idea.
You can choose to take something out of the warrant. You can choose to do something in between mailing them tomorrow and taking it out, which would be something like what you proposed. Obviously, we'd reach out to the contractor and let them know the expectations, which we've done.
I'm just curious, because it's been, I don't want to put words in the mouths of the individuals who have been handling some of the complaints and communication firsthand, but my thought here is to try to stimulate a conversation, basically just so that we can be back on the same page in terms of goals and expectations.
We haven't had necessarily poor communication. It's just been poor performance blamed on weather. I mean, they've been, Penobscot Park, considering the weather we've had, has been in pretty good shape, but it's been 9 days since the fire station was mowed, and it had been probably 2 weeks prior to that.
Can I ask, which, I mean, I see Drinkwater's.
Earl's property, I think it's Earl.
Earl Moody? No.
Hang on, I'll find it.
Landscaping, there is a landscaping component. Earl Moody.
Why can I not put my handwriting on it?
It's the first page.
I'm probably looking at the wrong warrant. Got too many, because we have a year end and then we have a,
I don't see it.
It's July 7th,
Oh, here it is, Earl Moody.
page 1 of July 7th, has Earl Moody, and has $667
I'm looking
for landscaping. Looks like new park town.
yep, you're looking at the right one.
Okay,
It's the first page on the 12.
but that's the Penobscot Park piece.
Yeah, we've got, yeah, we've got it all there. Penobscot Park, the harbor, the fire department, and the town office are all together in that,
Oh, okay.
So if we,
because we pay them out of 4 different accounts.
so if we were to add up all those accounts, how much money are we talking?
1184.
Okay,
1,184.
thank you.
And is that,
That's really for June.
okay, so that's for the month of June?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a monthly check.
And
Okay.
it's typically the warrant after the month
Yeah.
ended. Yeah.
So I'm good with that. I'd like to, like you said, spark a conversation. I'd like to see get caught up. And I know what you're saying. Friday was not a day to mow, but Saturday and Sunday was good. And so it's the perfect opportunity to get caught up. Full well knowing that this person is probably working hard.
Yes,
But they got this contract from us by promising us what they had for equipment, and they wanted the contract.
Yep.
So they were serious about having it, and we're serious about maintaining it. So,
I just think in breaking the status quo, we can
yeah.
spark a revisit of where we are, how it's been going, and our goals and expectations.
Yep.
Pay them, but
Right. So you mean having the check ready and telling them when they do the work?
once
can
they,
pay
once
the
they've
check?
finished, yeah, then,
Yeah.
make sense?
Yep.
So would the motion need to be amended with that specification?
I think that you've made that
Or you think
abundantly
in the
clear, and
in the
I'll,
discussion, it's
I'll
adequate?
risk, the wrath of the board if I
Okay.
choose not to follow it.
Is that the only one? Because there's also Drinkwaters Landscaping and Sportsfields Inc.
Yeah,
It's
drink,
different.
yeah,
Yeah,
drink waters
different
of the cemeteries, and that's after the fact
Okay.
Yeah,
with them.
yeah, just that specific contractor in the areas that they service. Okay, so any more discussion there? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? Thank you all very much. And if there's no other business that the board has to attend to,
You do have a couple of residents that ran in at 6:05 that I don't know what they're here for.
yes,
Oh, there you go.
wonderful. We love,
People at our meetings.
gosh, you warm our hearts.
Bring donuts next time.
Yeah,
Um,
great, that's even better, yeah.
Let me see if
thanks.
What was your name again?
Don't engage the audience.
He's bringing donuts.
We'll talk to him afterwards.
All right.
So if there is no further business that the board needs to attend to, we'll entertain a final motion, please.
Oh.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion about that? All those in favor? Thank you all very much.
Leave me every time, Kern. That's all right.
Sorry, Mike.
That's all right.